It's 5 o'clock, and we'd like to call the June 7th Budget Committee to order. Do we have anyone that would like to address the committee? Seeing none. In old business, we have none. In new business, we have the school department deliberations. Mayor Britton.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. In today's budget meeting, what we want to cover is first an idea about how to fund the school system's request, and so we'll present that, as well as some discussion on what we've talked about before, about some infusion of some money into our self-insured health insurance plan, and then also get you an update on our general liability and workman's comp insurance. We got a quote today from our carrier, and then a presentation from Lieutenant Jimmy Mullins on a new detective's position for the Sheriff's Department. So we'll start first with the school system's request, and here's the chart that we've had in the overview in our very first budget meeting, and this just shows the history of the maintenance of effort for the school system going back to fiscal year 2016. You'll see years 20, 21, and 22, the asterisks. What the asterisk means is there was some non-reoccurring funds that were added to this amount, and so in year 2020 it was the $200,000 that was non-reoccurring that was appropriated, and then in 2021 it was the same thing, and then last year, or the year that we're in now, we added $200,000 to the maintenance of effort, and then at $307,000 in non-reoccurring appropriation for the schools. Now, here is just a chart that shows you the school system's request and just history over the last 3 years, where we had in 2021 the $200,000 in non-reoccurring, and then the $307,000 in non-reoccurring with the addition of the $200 to maintenance of effort, and then the request this year for $673,396, which I think $365,000 is new money. So what the proposal that I'm bringing before the committee today is you guys were headed in that direction last week, is to appropriate what was requested by the school board, and then not add to the maintenance of effort, but appropriate the $673,000 in non-reoccurring. And so those funds would not be committed for next year or the year following. It would not be added to the maintenance of effort, but the school system would have the money appropriated by the county commission that they could use it. They're going to receive the money anyway from sales tax collections, and so the money will be in their pot, so to speak, and this would allow them to use it. It would be budgeted, and it wouldn't just go directly to fund balance. So that's the proposal for the school system's request. Maintenance of effort would stay the same. We'd add the 307 and the 365 for non-reoccurring funding for a total appropriation of $28 million, a little over $28 million. And then in that process, we would also move some property tax money from the school system's revenue, move it to the general fund, and replace those monies with sales tax. This year, we're projecting that our sales tax collections this year will surpass $18 million. that sales tax would surpass 18 million, be 18,385, and we budgeted 15.5. So that's about, what, 2.8 million more in sales tax that we anticipate collecting this year, more than budget, on the revenue side. So by adding, $1.3 million, in sales tax, to the school system's, revenue line, and then moving the 5 cents to the general fund, then, they would still give us about $1.5 million cushion in case there is a recession and sales tax collections next year aren't as good as what they are now. So we do have plenty of room there in case something happens to the economy here locally. So that is the proposal, basically, is to fund the request with non-reoccurring dollars and move 5 cents of the property tax rate to the general fund, and those monies will allow us to address the pay increase issue that we'll discuss on Thursday, and then move sales tax dollars into more sales tax dollars into the revenue line. What we're looking at as far as sales tax too is we have the $1.5 million cushion that I talked about, but also as far as what we would be appropriating for next year is a little less than what we collected 2 years ago. So we're being very conservative with that. So here's the tax rate table. How the tax rate would be broken down under this proposal is the general fund would receive 67 cents of the $1.97. The school system's GPS fund would be receive 66 cents, debt service 43, and sanitation on the property outside the city of Morristown 21 cents for a tax rate of $1.97. So that is the proposal that I'm presenting now. I've discussed it with the school system. We met this morning and talked through it, and so I'm open for questions.
Any questions from the committee? Mayor Britton, how certain are we of that tax, the 18? Is this collected in the fall, or is it here now?
No, it's here. We've got 10 months of it now.
10 months.
And
And
then
when do we get the other?
We'll get it in June and July.
Okay. Oh, I see. Just as it finishes out the year.
Right.
And so there's that much surplus in that.
Yes.
Mayor, do we, by moving this 5 cents from property tax, I know we can't see totally down the road. Is there any negative to that?
Well, yes. I mean, there is, I guess generally, especially back, let's say, 5-6 years ago, sales tax was and probably still is, considered a little less stable than property tax.
Sure.
But it all depends on collections as far as property tax, and we've been doing well there. The game changed on sales tax with the U.S. Supreme Court ruling, and then the state law change on how internet sales tax is divided, and that changed the whole game. And the state legislature changed how the money is divided, and now it goes to the jurisdiction where the package is shipped.
Mm-hmm.
And so the reason that was changed was to help rural school systems.
Sure.
Instead of the brick and mortar stores, which usually were in the metropolitan areas, or like in our case, we had the brick and mortar stores, and the rural counties around us, those folks came here and shopped. Now, if they order it online and have it shipped to their home, the sales tax paid on that package go to that county or that
To the address, right.
So that's changed the whole game. We have benefited from that. Hamlin County has benefited from that, and plus just the development of our economy with the second Walmart was huge. The second Walmart superstore was huge in sales tax collections. It eliminated some of the leakage that we had to the Jefferson City store, and then just the development of the community and our economy.
And also, if I understood you to say right, the increase in sales tax by $1.3 million to the school system, we still have a cushion in case we do have a falling off of sales tax.
Yeah, based on history, yes.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the mayor's plan.
Have a motion to approve. Do we have a second? Second. Do we have any additional questions?
I have one. Who all does this increase pertain to? Every employee of the school system? How does that work?
Yes, ma'am. Currently, what we have in the budget is the 4% would go to everyone. So every cafeteria worker, every bus driver, every teacher would get the 4%. The only exclusion was that if you make higher than what a teacher would make on that 2% bonus, then we cap it at the 2% bonus. So some of the central office folks, some of the principals, some of those individuals wouldn't get 2% of their salary on the budget or on the bonus. They would only get, you know, that cap at highest teacher's rates. But everybody else would get it.
Okay, just wanted to be sure.
Yes, ma'am. We highly value all those individuals, and I think a lot of school districts have seen this year some of the most important people we had were bus drivers. Many school districts actually closed down because they did not have bus drivers, and we were able, actually all of our bus drivers, mechanics, and even Rodney drove throughout the school year. So all of those people are important, from cafeteria workers to custodians, everyone.
That's 4%, is that all up front, is that 2% now, 2% fall?
It's actually 2% starting out this budget year, and then the 1% bonus, they'd be given one at Christmas during that winter break, and then the other 1% bonus would be given in the spring, because we don't receive all of our money at one time. And so we've split that up to just simply help with cash flow.
Total pay increase, school system, employees, bus drivers, custodians, would be 2% from 1%.
That is correct. The only thing, again, is the cap. Nobody's going to make any more bonus than the highest teacher made. You're welcome.
Do we have any additional questions?
Clarification on one thing. This is the proposed property tax structure. I'm not eligible to vote on the school system budget, but this is separate, correct?
Correct.
I mean, I just want to make sure, I mean, it pertains to the school, but just want to make certain that we're not stepping out of line.
The property tax will come on the 27th, I believe.
If no more questions or comments, all in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries. Item 4B is going to be open items for budget updates. Mayor Bredden?
Mr. Chairman, Dr. Perry would like to make a
Mr. Chair, members of the commission, just very quickly, first of all, appreciate the support and the vote this evening, but this will be my last meeting with you. We're actually heading out probably next week. And so just wanted to express my appreciation for the support that the commission has provided us for the entire 4 years that I've been here. I think that we have benefited under your leadership. I think that you've always been very generous with us. And we've tried to come with a responsible budget, and I hope that we've created that kind of relationship to go ahead and extend beyond my tenure. But it has been a pleasure. I've enjoyed working with each one of you. And it's been enjoyable 4 years, and we're leaving with nothing but great memories about this county and relationships that we've had here. So, Mr. Chair, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Mr. Chair, appreciate your leadership through all of this, and I wish you the very best, and I hope that the county continues to prosper and do well. But it has been a pleasure, and it's been an honor to serve you. Thank you, sir.
It's
you,
been a
Dr. Craig.
pleasure working with you.
Thank you, Dr. Perry. Let's do it right.
You're making it?
Okay, item 4B, open items and budget updates. Mayor Britton.
On just some other items that we want to bring to your attention is a couple of things here. One is our self-insurance fund. We mentioned this during the overview meeting. This chart, this line graph shows just the history back to fiscal year 2017 about the cash balance in our self-insurance fund. Now, what we mean by a self-insurance fund is that we take the risk. The county takes the risk. We manage the plan. It's our plan. Blue Cross Blue Shield administers it. We use their networks, their discounts, but this is our money. And what we've been able to do since we did this 6 years ago is we haven't raised premiums, and we haven't had to make any infusion into the self-insurance fund during that time. So we've reaped the harvest, so to speak, of managing our own plan and not having to increase premiums for our employees or the county, for the taxpayers, either one. And so this kind of shows you the history of what the cash balance has been at the end of the fiscal years. We started it with $750,000, and we built the balance for a couple of years, and then for the past few years we've kind of held our own. Then this year we've had more claims. For the past couple of years we've had a lot of pharmacy claims. And that's where we've been hit in the fund. But this year it's been more medical, and so we anticipate finishing the year with about $850,000 in the fund. Our target is right around $1 million, is where the actuaries think we need to be. And so what we're proposing is that we make a contribution of $260,000 out of fund balance to the self-insurance fund. Now, most of this $260,000 will come from the general fund, and then some will come from highway, and some will come from garbage, just based on the percentage of the number of employees. And so, but that's what we would include in the budget document in revision, in the first revision, or draft number 2. And we wanted to bring you up to date on that. And then on the general liability and workers' comp insurance, we had a 3% increase quoted by our carrier, but we have enough money in those line items that we don't need to increase them. We don't need to change them at all. So we will have a 3% increase, but it won't impact the budget document that you have, and it won't change any numbers in draft number 2. Any questions on those?
On the increase in the workers' compensation, what caused that? Did we have a lot of claims, is what I'm asking?
We had some significant ones, I believe. And most of them are in the jail, where we have inmates, or not, yeah, inmates hurt our staff. Let's see. Let me see exactly what. Mr. Chairman, I don't have the exact number. I've got it lumped together, but it's $21,000 total is the difference in the increase. But I can get that for you. Any questions? Okay, then, lastly, is Detective Lieutenant Jimmy Mullins is here to present a proposal from the Sheriff's Department for a new detective position. As far as costs go, I can speak to that, and then Lieutenant Mullins can come up and give the other information. As we're looking at, in round numbers, salary and benefits and reoccurring expenses is about $60,000, and then for non-reoccurring expenses, to set up the position, it would be about $40,000, and that's what would be, that's what we're talking about when you add that detective's position. So.
Good afternoon. We have the opportunity to bring in a detective that is a female. She is bilanguage. She has been CBSA certified. We're checking if she can just be recertified on that. That way, any CBSA, which is a computerized force stress analysis test, lie detector test, basically, that has to be done in Spanish, can be done by her instead of calling her in off the road and having her to waste time away from the road. The other part is females seem to be better with sex crimes, small children, and so forth. Right now, our call volume with the 5 detectives that we got shows that on 2021, if we spent equal amount of time on each case, we could spend 6.4 hours on each case is all it could be. Of course, crime's going up, so I think that we have got enough, all the tools and equipment that she needs, other than written. We're out of certified officer spots, so we're asking for one more. I think we got 53, and we're asking for one added.
So, you have 5 now. Are you one of the 5? But you're retiring, so that'll leave you still with 5.
Still leaves very minimum amount of work that can be done in these cases, and the citizens deserve a better caseload. Some things you have nothing on, and some things it might take 3 or 4 days.
Jimmy, you're open to another slot, correct? Open to another slot. You'll have to sit. You get tired, you'll still have spots to sit. So you'll be one short. You'll be one, so you're gonna be one to hire another detective.
Well, they will be, as I go out and someone comes in, they will be moving up the ladder. Yes, so they will come up from patrol.
How long have we had 5, or have you had 5 detectives? Is that?
We've had
been-
5 since, 2016, we had 6, and then we got down to 5. So after 16, maybe start of 17.
So you're asking for the female, then you're gonna ask for another spot when you leave.
We're asking for an extra spot to give us 6 detectives. When I leave, somebody will fill my spot, but it's already there. It's nothing from the, we will not be taking anything someone move up to lieutenant, and then someone move up to detective. We want to add one. We'll replace one within our budget we have now, but we want to add one to the detective division.
When's your plan to China?
August 5th.
Do you know specifically what time of day that will be?
Have you included this position in the 5 cent?
No, it's not in any of the budget documents. It would be, if you guys approve it, it would be in draft 2.
But I guess my question is, can it be funded in the income that money is generating?
Part of it
Part of it, and then the rest of it,
would go to raises.
I
Or you're
know,
talking about this position.
I'm talking about the position.
It would come from fund balance. And then,
Well, you can fund the non-reoccurring from fund balance, but then you've got $60,000 of reoccurring.
we've got probably, by moving the 5 cents, it would cover the raises that we'll talk about on Thursday, and then about $20,000 of the 60. So
Okay.
one thing that what we've seen over time is like last year, for example. Last year's budget, when the budget you passed had a deficit of about $650,000. But we're gonna end up building about $1.5 million of fund balance this year. So that's a $2 million turnaround. What we're seeing over the last 2 or 3 years, actually 3 or 4 years, is we average spending about 95% of the appropriation. So if we spend 95% of the appropriation that's in our draft budget, we won't have a deficit. We'll be building fund balance this year.
I guess the concern I have is you have this position, and then we know the road department wants, what, 2 or 3 flaggers? I've forgotten how many. 2 flaggers. And then the positions with the court system were almost locked in there because we approved them, for half of the year, and now we're carrying him over to full-time. Are we going to be able to fund all of those positions if we approve them?
I think history shows we can, and not finish the year in the red.
Okay.
I like the fact you're hiring a female. I think there's certain situations that, as you said, they do a better job.
I believe she will be an asset to
And you said that she was also bilingual, is that correct? Is she also bilingual?
Yes.
She-
You know, I don't know why, it's gonna be rough. Why don't you take that female, if you're gonna hire, put her in your position, and hold that spot open for you. Next year we come back with probably better, more money to fund that position. I understand that, except for, we're already behind. I understand, you bring that female up, like I say, put her in your position, and you can fund that. You'll have 5. You'll have 5.
I don't know if you can work on any caseload. Right now, with the 5 we got, we're not up to what we're using for one percentage of closing cases.
If I understood correctly, their call volume anyway, they're only able to spend 6 hours per case. And by adding another position, which I think it's warranted, I think what these guys are under and
Not saying it's not working, you're saying, you know, we got funding.
well, I got you, but Mayor just explained to us, we have a way right here and not dig too deep. I don't know if, I don't know another way around it, Tim, other than biting it off.
Does your way, will your way include the other positions that are being requested in the budget?
Yeah, now what Lieutenant's talking about will come out of the general fund. Okay,
Yeah.
So the new positions in the general fund are, the caseworker or junior court,
Yeah,
or for recovery court, and a grant covers 2/3 of that, 3/4 of that. And then this position, and then the flaggers come out of highway, they come out of a different fund. So,
Okay.
Okay, that won't be affected by the 5-cent move or anything
Okay.
that comes out. So there's 2 new positions, and then funding those judicial commissioners for a full year. And that's in the draft.
This is
but-
new.
Okay.
This will be in the draft too. This will be in draft too.
Mr. Chairman, what
Let's ask about it.
you guys could do is give us, I guess, instruction to include the position in draft 2. And then we come back with the full draft 2, you can see where we are. And then make your final decision. We'll have draft 2 on Monday, after you guys meet Thursday and talk about raises and some other things. Then draft 2 will be on Monday. We're holding budget after the end of the other committees on Monday. And then you can pull it if you want to, or make whatever decisions you want to.
One final question for Lieutenant Mullins. Or for me, on this position, we see that $60,000 for reoccurring, non-recurring $40,000. That does include a new vehicle, or it says vehicle training and equipment.
It does, yes.
There's a vehicle already available for this new detective.
It does include a new vehicle. But it's a civilian vehicle, because of it being a detective spot, and
What,
so it's $35,000.
What kind of car is it?
Sorry.
What kind of car?
pretty good shape? I mean, is it good to go? Excuse me?
2022.
That's pretty good shape? Okay.
We hope. But that's the, yeah, we've got all the, she'll have to have her training and everything else we've got available for her that she needs to be a detective, other than the salary and the vehicle.
how long will it take you to get that vehicle?
I'm sorry.
How long is it gonna take you to get the vehicle?
Well, according to, few more, it's, because it's a civilian, it's on the lot now.
Oh, okay.
Will you ever bring her on? I'm sorry. You'll have to, and you're leaving in August? And you got a vehicle?
I got, yes.
You should take your vehicle.
It's still gonna be a new position, possibly a new position.
Well, why don't we give her your vehicle?
If you give her a vehicle, somebody else gonna be walking. If we don't buy it.
Already got somebody planning to go up.
Chairman, I'll make a motion that we set this aside until we have further information as far as budget
To the next meeting.
to the next meeting.
Got a motion to set this aside to the next meeting, and then it would be coming back as you'll be putting it into a form of a second presentation of the budget.
Sure, but do you want it put into draft 2?
Absolutely, yes, sir.
I'll second that.
We got a motion and a second. Do we have any further discussion? If not, all in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries.
That's all I have.
Thank you, Mayor Britton. On announcements, of course, we've got June 9th for the total budget, open items and budget updates. June 13th, we're going to wrap it up and vote for the proposed budget, hopefully. And then on June the 27th, we should be prepared to adopt a budget, including the appropriations resolutions, tax levy resolutions, and resolution making appropriations to nonprofits and charitable organizations. Got a question?
When will we be bringing up the raises for county work, road department?
Next time.
secretaries, all that, what day is that coming up?
What's your question?
About the raises,
Thursday.
that'll be a percentage, what percentage are you looking at?
I've got some ideas, and I'll present all the numbers and everything on Thursday.
Okay, if there's nothing else, we're adjourned.